Hello Cubeheads and welcome back to Pixark. Today we're going to be looking at the 5 best dinosaurs for you to tame early game. Now we aren't going to be doing this in a top 5 order in terms of usefulness, but we are going to be doing it in terms of level, so when you can actually tame them. Now the dinos I've picked are relatively easy to tame because we're only looking at levels 1 through to 30, which is what I would call the early game. Let's take a look. Coming in at number 5, we have the Firefly. Now, before you click off the video and think, Stegs, what are you talking about? The Firefly doesn't do anything, it's useless. It's not. It's brilliant. It's probably one of the best things you could tame straight away as soon as you get into the world. Why is that, Stegs, I hear you ask? Well, it's a very good question, and I'm going to tell you right now. So, you're going to be doing a lot of mining throughout pretty much your entire life in Pixark, right? Which means you're going to do a lot of digging. Now, when you dig down quite far, you're not really going to be able to see a lot, which is why the Firefly is great. It goes on your shoulder, just like it is here, and when you go down, you can actually see what you're doing. We can go as far down as we like, and we can still see everything we're doing. Now this is going to be really useful for you throughout pretty much the entire game. Now you could always in later game get something like the heavy miner's helmet, but to be honest, if that doesn't offer you as much protection, you're surely going to always want to have a better helmet on than just a mining helmet for the sake of a light. So the fact that you can just put a little guy on your shoulder, not really worry about him, and just go down into the mines and mine yourself silly, that's a pretty good thing, right? Now I'll give you a little example of what this mining shaft is like without the Firefly. Let's throw it down. If any of you don't know, by the way, you can throw your shoulder mount off just by double tapping F. And we're gonna kill him. Oh my god, you're indestructible! Indestructible Firefly! Bad Firefly! Die! So we're gonna go down into the mine without the Firefly now, and you can see it's already pretty dark down here. Now, obviously, yes, you can still see, you know, it's not the end of the world if you don't have one, but honestly, like, why wouldn't you? It's so easy to just get a Firefly and do it, particularly when it's nighttime as well. Now, if you're wondering how to tame a Firefly, it's super easy. Just go up to a bush, grab a berry, make sure that your berry is in your 0 slot, run up to the Firefly. Where'd he go? There he is. And press E, and you will tame him more or less straight away. I've never had a Firefly not tame within 1 berry, but I think maybe if you get a level 150, this is just a level 1, then maybe it'll take 2 berries. But really, it's going to be the quickest tame of your life. Next up on the list at number 4 is the Pteranodon. Now, I know, again, this really isn't it's not a dino to be used for attacking other creatures. It's not got a lot of health. It's not got a lot of power. It's got a bit of stamina, but it does have a use. And its use is poop. When you start building a proper base up and you start needing fertilizer, you're going to need poop. The Pteranodon is a brilliant way, particularly early game, to get poop. Now, to get the Pteranodon to give you some delicious poop, all you need to do is collect a ton of stim berries. If you then go up to your Pteranodon, go into its inventory by pressing F, put the stim berries into its inventory, press the stim berries, and remote use the item a lot. You're going to have to do this a lot, guys. I'm not kidding. Just keep doing this. Just keep pressing remote use item, and take a look here. We've got a ton of poop to pick up. So that was just a few berries, and we've already got 5 medium dinosaur feces. Poop. So with the poop from your Pteranodon, you're going to be able to make a load of fertilizer, which is really important for late game, particularly if you want to be able to start a farm. Now, there are loads of plants in Pixark, plants that destroy people, so it is really useful to start making a farm of horrifyingly vicious plants outside your base. Now, early game, what you need to do is use the compost bin. So all you'll do is get a load of poop, chuck it into the inventory of the compost bin, and then chuck some thatch in, and you can make the fertilizer. And you'll notice that it does take a very long time for the compost to actually work, which is why in the late game, what you'll want to do is use one of the Pteranodon huts where it automatically turns their poop into fertilizer. Once you have a Pteranodon hut set up, you can put your Pteranodon just outside it, press and hold E, and go to capture Pteranodon. Then the Pteranodon is right there. So once you have a Phiomia in the structure, you'll need to go into its inventory and put some thatch in the fuel. Then click produce egg. You're obviously not producing an egg, you're producing fertilizer. Once you do produce egg, you'll get a remaining time, and that is the remaining time that this thatch will work for, and then it will just automatically produce fertilizer. So it's a great dino to have, just for the fact that you're going to want to make a farm in late game. Taming a Phiomia is really easy to do. Just like the Firefly, it's a passive tame. So make sure you've got some berries in your 0 slot, run up to the Phiomia, and press E when it prompts you to. This one will take a little bit longer, so you've got to wait until it's hungry again. So just keep running up to the Phiomia and feeding it until it's tamed. At number 3, we have the Pteranodon, and this is by far the best tame you'll get early game. It's going to allow you to explore the entire map really easily and at a safe distance. It's also pretty boss at killing creatures early game by using the C attack, which will do a barrel roll. Now this does take a lot of stamina from your bird, but it does do a lot of damage as well. Definitely worth getting one of these things. The Pteranodon is more of a scout creature, so it's going to allow you to explore the entire map, like I said, but do be careful, you're going to have to land for stamina quite a lot, particularly if you get a low level one. If you end up landing for stamina in a bad area, you might end up getting wrecked by werewolves like this. They do not take long to kill you. To tame a Pteranodon, it's relatively simple, but you will need to be at level 20 to be able to craft the saddle, so just keep that in mind. Get yourself a bow and some sleepy arrows, and simply hit it once or twice in the face. When you've knocked one unconscious, go up to it and go into its inventory by pressing E or F, grab some meat from your inventory and place it in the Pteranodon's. Once you've tamed your Pteranodon, you can chuck the saddle on it by putting a saddle from your inventory into its saddle slot right there, and you're good to go explore the map. Coming up at number 2, we have the Raptor. It's fast, it's furious, it's essentially an early game meat grinder. This thing will go through creatures super quickly and absolutely wreck anything that gets in its way within seconds. It does have a bit of an issue going up against slightly bigger dinos, but if all you're doing is trying to get some meat, you can just run up to dodos and rabbits, Phiomias, any of the small creatures, and absolutely wreck them. Now there's a lot of different ways to tame a raptor. Some people like to build big platforms, some people like to dig holes, and some people like to just try and tank them and take them on themselves. Personally, I prefer to dig big holes and use a Pteranodon to lure them into them. It's a lot more difficult to use the hole technique if you don't have a Pteranodon. So I'm going to set up a hole right here. It only needs to be about 3 deep and 3 wide. Now what I also like to do is just place a layer of rock or dirt just around the outside of it, where I'm going to be tranking from, just so that he definitely can't get up, because I have failed at this before. So now we're going to get on our Pteranodon, find ourselves a Raptor, which is one right there, get him to aggro on us, and do be careful, because they do hit hard, and they are very fast. Now he might just fall in the hole right now. And he's in the hole. Great stuff, and we only took a little bit of damage, and then from here, we can quite simply just trank the Raptor out. It's only going to take a few shots to actually get this one down. It's only a level 20. Obviously, with a higher level one, it will take longer. And there he goes. So I think that was about 5 or 6 arrows right there, and they were body shots. If I'd have hit him in the head, probably would have taken 2 or 3. And now, just as we always do, we're just going to put some meat in its inventory and wait for it to tame. So for me, this is without doubt the easiest way to tame it. The problem with using a platform is that if you don't have any way to enclose the raptor once you're up on the platform, then it is going to run away when it's low on torpor. Now, if you're a really good shot with the bow, unlike me, you might be able to just get that last shot on it while it's running away. But I don't really like to risk it. I prefer to make sure my tames are trapped so I can tame them safely and easily. Finally, coming in at number 1, we have the Triceratops. Now remember, I'm not saying this is the best tame for you to tame early game. It's just the tame that you get at level 30, along with a raptor to be fair, that is really, really useful. And here's why. Not only is the Trike ridiculously tanky, it can take on loads, and it just pushes its opponents back when they try and come near it, so you don't really ever get hit. But it's also very, very good at gathering berries. And berries are really important for the future of your taming careers. So instead of you guys just running around trying to pick up berries, hoping you get some narcos, you can just take the trike out and use it, and it's going to get you tons of narco berries. It's going to be great. Let's have a little look. We've got 97 in there. We've got 72 there. We've got 38. We've got loads of narco berries on us right now, which is fantastic. Now, there is another early game tame you can get, which is going to help you get berries as well, and that is the parasaur, but I'm going to leave it out of this video, mainly because for the early game side of taming, you don't really need to get a ton of berries. The Pteranodon can tame without narcotics a lot of the time, and most of the other ones can as well, if you're going for lower levels. And considering the parasaur really isn't very good at fighting as well, I'm going to leave it out of the video. Sorry, parasaur. It's nothing you've done, it's just that you're a sucky tame. Taming a trike is really, really easy. It's another passive tame, so all you need to do is run up to it with a berry on your 0 slot and press E to feed it. Now, as they're bigger creatures, they are going to take slightly longer to tame, but it's just a little bit of patience. It should only take 5 or 10 minutes. And as always, once you've successfully tamed it, you can saddle it up, run around to your heart's content and gather yourself a metric ton of berries. So there you have it, my personal 5 best dinos I would highly recommend taming early game, from levels 1 to levels 30. The first thing you're going to want to tame is always going to be a Firefly. Then try going for a Pteranodon, and it makes taming everything else a lot easier. Anyway, that's the end of the episode, so thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, push your face up against the like button, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next episode.